President of the World Association for Sustainable Development. I'm very pleased and honored to chair this conference today, or actually co-chairing, because there's 6 or 5 co-chairing this conference with me. This conference is organized by the World Association for Sustainable Development with several partners across the world. We have partners across the whole world, as far as Indonesia, Middle East, Africa, in America, in Europe. And we are very pleased to have a fantastic collection of people today. They're going to share with us their experience with online learning. There's twofold for this conference, or in terms of the aims and objectives. COVID-19, I think everyone in the world now knows what is COVID-19 and the consequence of on our life as a result of the COVID-19. We are all in a lockdown now. We are talking from homes. I'm talking from my home in London. All these people are either joining from home, most of them, or few of them are joining from offices with huge restriction on them even going to offices. This pandemic, among the few things, there is not anything nice, or we can call it benefit from having this pandemic or this virus in our life, but there are few, some scholars or some people or some commentators have said there are benefits from the COVID-19 or the global pandemic. I have experts on medicine, on economics, from the UN, from all over the world. They're going to share the experience. But one of the few, if you like, I don't want to call it benefit, but one of the few positive features or advantage of what is happening in the last 8 or 10 years is that we are becoming more united than ever before. We realize the importance of us working together, fighting one goal or aiming for one goal. The United Nations is looking for 17 sustainable development goals. But what actually we learned from COVID, more than what we learned from the UN, is that all of us are actually working together against one particular, or for one particular goal, which we all want to survive peacefully. Of course, if you put the 17 sustainable development goals of the United Nations all together, they want to achieve that. They want all of us to live in harmony, peacefully, help each other. The UN wants us all to progress in our life, to educate our kids. They don't want any child to be left out of school. They want us all to be healthy. They want us all to progress, to enjoy life. But this COVID-19 gave us that reminder. We haven't been really working close to each other. So now we are close to each other, just from the screen in front of you. And I meant to have the screen showing those faces, there's many of them, but at least I can see on the top corner from Sudan, next from the UK, on my left from Bahrain, down from the UK, then you go to Geneva, then you go to Indonesia again, Scotland, Germany, Botswana, Uganda, and the list will go on. If we continue on the same list, you will say Turkey and so on and so forth. Now, I will just have to, okay, so this is what we are, we can see from this COVID-19 pandemic. As a result of that, we are all here together. But the one second theme I would like to highlight here before we start, or give the opportunity to my speakers, is that in 1997, we had a Nobel Prize winner or laureate, which is Professor Norman Borlaug. When he got his Nobel Prize, he said it is important. He was talking. He was being awarded the Nobel Prize for the Green Revolution, if you remember, Norman Borlaug. He said in his speech at that time, he said, technology is very important for our life, and technology is very important for improving the productivity of whatever we do. But he said another very important statement, which I think COVID reminds us all about that statement. We don't need to go and produce new technologies. We need first, he said, to go to our computer, to our offices, to our desktop, to find the technology already available, and we visit that and we use it. So before we go to introduce or produce new technology, before we do that, I think we got, we need to make sure this one is showing all of us. So before we do that, we've been reminded there are technologies already available, and we should be looking at them before we introduce new technology. Now, all of us here, I can see here, all of us here, we are from different parts of the world, we are connected through online technologies and applications. For example, here we are using Zoom, but these technologies or this application, they are not new. At universities in the UK or in America or all over the world, people have had these technologies and applications in their systems, and they have been trying to use them for many years. The first time I remember at the University of East London many years ago, at 2001, they were trying at the university to deliver courses to all over the world through online technologies. So, and I'm sure there's many other universities have been doing this 30, 40 years ago. But what COVID actually did for us, it gave us the opportunity to look back into the technology already available, but we did not realize how important and the huge potential of this technology to help us connecting and educating and learning. So that's more of the theme. So why we're looking at this issue today and from different perspectives and angles, because I think it become the reality of the new, if you like, or the new era or post-COVID-19, or in the next, I don't know how many years, but in the next period, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, we have no other option than to communicate and to use these online technologies and applications just to communicate. What about learning and education and so on? We have seen prime ministers, government, United Nations meeting, all of them are being conducted online. So that's what we are trying to explore today, different experience from across the world, because the advantage of the online technologies and applications are not equally available all over the world. For example, people in Africa, they are struggling with two fundamentals which will stop them from enjoying the benefit of online. One of them is electricity, before we come to the broadband, or the bandwidth strengths of the broadband and the high speed broadband, which will allow them to watch and to contribute and to actually deliver and teach. But even electricity could stop them from watching and joining these kind of conferences. So that's the general theme of this conference. We will be exploring and listening to people who will talk to us about the advancement in technologies and applications of online learning and education. We will be looking to perspective of speakers like our first keynote speaker, Dr. Petru Dimitri, who will tell us how the UN is actually looking or using or adopting or utilizing online platforms, because there is lots of lessons learned to learn from them. There are 28 agencies across the whole world looking at different aspects, food, health, and others. We will look into some case studies or presentations which will give us more of what else we can do, like artificial intelligence, data science, and so on and so on. And then we will look into country-specific perspective on how the country itself is dealing with online learning. Some countries, are they ready for these technologies? If they are not ready, how fast or how quick they can actually catch up, and so on. We will also explore specific case studies of some universities to try to learn lessons from Turkey, from Indonesia, from India, from Botswana, and others. So I will just give you a quick one line of final, if you like, housekeeping. We will be starting the first presentation very soon. Each session is being designed to have 3 speakers, and those 3 presentations will have a mix of keynote speakers and the general presentations. We will try to finish the talks in less than 1 hour for each session, and then to give the rest of the time for people to ask questions. So please join us. Those who are across the whole world watching us from Facebook, please spread and share this Facebook pages across your friends network all over the world, and send us questions through the Facebook. We will take them and we will forward them, or we will give them to the moderators to address them, to be addressed by the speakers. We will have 15 minutes break between each sessions, so it will give everyone, whether you want to go to the toilet, you want to drink, you want to eat, you want to do anything, we will give you that time, so you don't need to rush to leave the session before it finishes. There is definitely going to be a good 15 minutes between each session. And after the second session, we have like a lunch break, which is going to be half an hour. We're aiming to finish by 5:30, and that's what will happen, the same thing tomorrow. As you can see, we tried our best to bring the papers more thematically aligned to each other in each session. But because this is an online conference, We have to also be as flexible as possible and accommodating the time difference. For example, Indonesia is almost late now in the day, while people in America, I think currently they are sleeping. That's why they will be joining us in Canada and America later on the day. So you have to also appreciate that the lineup of the papers also has to do with the time difference. We are dealing with the time difference on this speaker sometimes 10 hours.
So please remember, if we all help and do a little bit, it will make a big difference.